The real fun begins with this lesson. Are you ready? You will learn decision control constructs in this lesson. So far, the program of execution has gone in only one direction, and that is, it started at the main method and it executed all the statements one at a time in an order, and then the program exited when the last statement was executed. Let's make some changes to this program so that the program of execution does not go in one straight line like this, but take some detours when certain conditions apply. So for that, let's look into this line here. What does this statement do? So it's printing out, glad to know you are, and it's taking the age value that was input by the user in this line, and then it also adds up a few more strings, and supposing if you gave your age as 13, then it would print out, glad to know you are 13 years old. Let's actually see that in execution. Hi, please input your name. My name is Jayashree. Jayashree, please input your age. I'm 13 years old. Glad to know you're 13 years old. That's what you see there. And then it's asking me, Jayashree, please input your height in inches. I'm 60 inches tall. And it prints out, glad to know that you're 60 inches tall. Now, how about if the user is between 13 and 19 years old? I don't want to show this statement. Where is that? Glad to know that you're 13 years old. Instead of this statement, I want to print out, hi teenager, welcome to programming. I want to change that. So only if the age is between 13 and 19 is when I want to show a different message, and for the rest of the folks I want to show the same message. How do I do that? Well, Java gives us a construct called if block. So you have to use the if block to get that rolling. So let's add that if block here. So if age is greater than or equal to 13 and age is less than or equal to 19, then you want to show a different statement, which is system.out.println, hey teenager, welcome to programming. I'm sure you will have fun. And then for the rest of the folks, I want to show the regular statement. So this is for the rest of the folks. I'm going to show the old statement that we had previously. And for only teenagers, I want to show this. So the way I can do that in Java is by adding this if block. You see, if is followed by a pair of parentheses, and inside that you have a conditional, and the conditional has to evaluate to either true or false. In the previous lessons, you learned how to put relational operators together to get a true or a false value, and then this expression gives you a true or a false value, and this expression also gives you a true or a false value, and using the logical operator and we are constructing a complete conditional which eventually lands up being a true or a false. And if this conditional is true, it goes into this block, the curly brace that you see here and the one that it ends there, that is the if block. So if this conditional is true, it executes this block. Else, if the condition is false, if this turns out to be false, then this block is not executed. Instead, it goes to the else block and this block is executed. So let's see that in action. So Java C, I have to now again compile it because I made changes to the previous one. And now Java, run that, input your name, I input my name, and then input your age. I'm gonna input my age as 13 and see, hey teenager, welcome to programming. I'm sure you'll have fun. And then the inches, let's continue with that. and then finally it exits the program after the last statement is executed. And now to check if it really works a different way for anybody who is not between 13 and 19, let's put a different age. Let's say I'm gonna say that my age is now gonna be 20. So if I say 20, then what's the message that you see? You see the message is glad to know that you're 20 years old. And that is because this conditional turns out to be false, and that's why this block did not get executed, and instead it jumped off to the else block, and then this block is executed. Now let me actually remove some of these so that we keep our program simple, so that I only do few things. And let me also remove this. I don't want these other ones. So my program is really simple. It's only asking, please input your age. And then the moment you input the age, then if the age is between 13 and 19, it goes into this block, else it goes into this block. Now let's compile and run this program. Java C, scan and demo. Well, it's throwing a compile error. And where is that? It is at line number 9. And it's also giving us one more hint, and that is it can't seem to find the name, cannot find symbol, name, and there is, you see the small caret. It's particularly concerned about this variable here, and that's what it's complaining about. And the reason for that is I had the name declarations previously, which I removed, but I'm using the name without any declaration, and that's why it is complaining. So let me get rid of that name now completely, so that there is no declaration and no usage of that variable as well, and now it should be happy. Now Java, let me put 13. For 13 I get this message, hey teenager, welcome to programming, I'm sure you'll have fun. So that is coming from this block. We also test for something which is beyond 19, which is 20. And for 20, I get glad to know you're 20 years old, and that is coming from this line. And now let's say that you want to add one more, and that is for folks between 20 and 26, you want to give a different message. And how do you do that? You add one more if block after the else. So else, and then you continue on with one more if, and this time it is if age is greater than or greater than 19, because you don't want equal this time, because equal goes into that previous block, so you want greater than 19, and age is less than or equal to 26. You want to have a different message for them, and that message would be, hey, folks of this group, get their first programming job. And then if a person doesn't belong to this or this, then you want to have the else. So this else will catch every other scenario. So the every other scenario would be anybody below 13, and anybody above 26 will come into this block. So now let's go ahead and compile this again. It's throwing a compile error. What is it saying? Illegal start of expression at line number 14. What did I do wrong? Oh yeah, here. So, it automatically put that greater than symbol, which I did not notice. So save it and go ahead and compile it again. Let's run this now. So let's say you want to test this with a person with the number 24. So with the 24, we get the message, hey, folks of this group, get their first programming job. And that's what this is about. So I should put a comma here. That's more appropriate. So yeah. So when you give the age 24, it goes into this block. And now if I run this again and give a value which is about 26, which is let's say 28, then it comes to this block. So when the user inputs a value of 12 for the age, the program of execution goes in an order till the if block. And then since the conditional is false, it jumps to the else block without executing the rest of the statements. And when the user inputs the value of 13, the first if block is executed and the rest of the blocks are skipped. And when the user inputs a value of 19, the first if block is skipped, but the second if block is executed and the last else block is skipped.